And for other people like myself, having that diagnosis of fibromyalgia was a bit of a relief because it made me feel, I don't want to say relief, but also kind of relief because I had an answer as to why I'm so tired all the time. I had an answer as to why I was in pain all the time. I had an answer as to why when the weather changes, I feel horrible, because that's another part of it that usually isn't talked about. When the weather changes, and I'm not just saying it got cold. No, when it goes from extreme cold to warm, or if it goes from warm to cold, or if the pressure system shifts because there's a big thunderstorm that just went through, or it went from raining to sunny really fast, or all of a sudden there's just some random hail. All of those big changes in weather and pressure system can cause a flare-up. Stress can cause a flare-up. Eating the wrong food can cause a flare-up. Not getting enough sleep can cause a flare-up. Having a flare-up can cause a flare-up. Almost everything in our lives can cause a flare-up. And when you're reading these things online, let's say that medication and exercise can help with this and help manage it. Not always. If I were to go and do a bunch of exercises right now, it is not going to help me. It's going to put me in a flare-up. And I have tried. I've done yoga. I've done different physiotherapy exercises. I've tried so many different types. And the only one that actually helps at least a little bit is if I do like 3 different yoga poses and then I take a 3-day break. And even then that could cause a flare-up. So fibromyalgia is so complicated because it is so different for every single person. And it is so different every single week. What I'm feeling this week, it's not going to be the same as what I'm feeling next week. And it's definitely not going to be the same as the week after that. So that's why I always tell people it's like being a prisoner in your own body, because I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know how I'm going to feel later. So if I have a day where I'm feeling good, I sometimes am my own worst enemy, because now I'm looking around the house and I'm going, okay, well, I have laundry I have to do, and I have to go wash my hair. I have to make sure that we're having a good supper tonight. I'm going to go and vacuum, and then you do all of these things because you're having a good day and you don't want to put it off in case tomorrow is a flare up. But then because you've done all of these things, you are now in a flare up. So it becomes this intense battle of trying to find balance. What can I do to not get a flare-up? But also, what can I do when I am feeling better? What is too much? What is not too much? There are so many different factors that sometimes, even when we are in it for years, we don't know. Because today is not the same as yesterday, and it's surely not going to be the same as tomorrow. So I can't tell you how I'm going to feel. Nobody can tell you how I'm going to feel. My body is going to do what it wants to do. And at a certain point, you don't feel like you are the driver anymore. You feel like you're just kind of there for the ride. So when somebody tells you that they feel like a prisoner in their own body, it's because they really don't feel like they have control anymore. And we try to take advantage of those good days, but also those bad days can be really, really bad. And that is okay to admit that you're having a bad day. It is okay to not comb your hair. It's okay that I have this bump in my hair from putting my hair in elastic to go to sleep. I'm not going to try and straighten it out, because lifting my arm up for that long to do the straightening likely is going to make my arms not work again for the rest of the day. So if you hear somebody talking about how they feel like a prisoner in their own body, just stop and think about how when you wake up tomorrow, are you going to be able to get out of bed? And you even have to think about that, because somebody with fibromyalgia is thinking about that always. They don't get to stop thinking about it. It becomes your entire life of what will tomorrow be. And that's hard. So I just want to let people know that you are not alone. You are not the only person going through this. And it doesn't matter if you have the most mild fibromyalgia or if you have the most intense fibromyalgia. This whole scale, we are all in it together, and we have to try to be nicer to one another, especially online. If somebody is online and they post a picture and they're using a ton of filters, maybe they're doing that because they don't like how they look, because they just didn't have the energy to do something about their blemishes or their makeup or their hair. Or maybe somebody just isn't posting any photos at all and they're telling you that they feel like they look like a troll. Maybe it's because they have something like this and they don't have that energy to get up and make sure their hair looks good. They don't have that energy to make sure they're not wearing the same onesie when they post a video the next day. And that's okay. We need to learn to be nicer to each other, because stress is a huge, huge factor in fibromyalgia. If your stress levels are higher, your pain levels are higher. So please, if you take anything from this video, take away being kinder to people when they're not feeling good. If somebody is complaining constantly about their pain and their fatigue and how they don't know how tomorrow is going to be, yeah, it might get annoying to you after a while, but just take a deep breath and realize that if you are not a prisoner in your own body, just let that person have that moment to have that rant. Maybe even say to them, hey, that really sucks. Because sometimes all we want to hear is a little bit of validation. Just somebody who's saying, hey, that's terrible. Because that actually feels so great to me when somebody looks at me and says, that sucks. It makes me feel seen. It makes me feel heard. And it does relax everything for even just a moment. And sometimes just 30 seconds can make the world of a difference. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or anything that you want me to talk about, leave them in the comments. And make sure you're nice to somebody today, guys. Bye.